What is it? 559. 914. Good. No, you're good.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good, good. What have you guys been up to lately?
Not much.
Yeah. Same.
Same.
I'm not a big fan of this group hangout thingies. I don't like talking to people. But I guess we can talk about this. So for this week, did you guys know we didn't have a math, what's it called? The assignments for this Tuesday that we're supposed to do?
We don't have any.
Yeah.
When you click on the link, it says there are no my math lab assignments.
Oh, wow.
That's for sure.
But we're supposed to do exam.
Yeah, exam prep.
Yeah.
I guess we could do that tonight on this group chat thingy. I guess, yeah, basically for today's group chat, what we have to talk about is problems that we're struggling with as a group, and discuss the problem and the type of problem to teach each other. And I was wondering, do you guys want to quickly do a quick run over of the exam review sheets?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just go over the different equations and different formulas and stuff. Okay. So
I'm just pulling it up. Sorry, guys.
That's all good. I'm gonna share my screen.
Hey, Fisher. Look, it's Hanson.
Hey.
Hanson, what are you doing, man?
Oh, I'm just chilling.
This is his apartment.
Oh, okay.
Salt Lake for a few days.
Oh, okay.
Just hanging out.
That's pretty cool.
So we're doing exam 1 preparation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just pulled it up on my screen too, if you guys want to look there. So
The review problem.
yeah.
So before we jump into that, I had a question about our quiz. I just had one thing that I couldn't figure out. And it was when we had that function and then the reverse function of it, right? And then we were writing it into the equation.
Oh, yeah.
So I couldn't figure out if it like canceled out each other completely or if it all like equaled 1. Let's see, I wrote it down somewhere. Oh, 1 1 equals 2x plus 5 over 2 minus 2. But I had no idea if that was the right answer because I don't know what it did.
Wait, what was it?
So question 2 of the individual quiz, I was just confused about I don't know if you guys can see this, it's probably backwards. Can you see that? Is it backwards?
No, it's not.
Just hold it there. No, it's good.
So
That was good.
It's great.
this function right here, I was confused. Did I do that right?
So you're just doing the inverse, right?
Yeah, because the equation was the function and then the inverse.
So, yeah, so the one right above it, is that the one that you're trying to get the inverse of?
So the inverse was the same as the function.
And the function was f of f negative 1x,
Yeah.
right? Okay. One sec. I have this little site I can put it into.
Awesome. Because like I figured out, because like the inverse was the same because there was a 2 and a negative 2, a 2 in the y, and then a negative 2 in the x of the second. Anyway, it canceled out and it ended up being the same. The inverse function ended up being the same function. So I was confused because I didn't know what to do after that. I was like, I am unsure what's happening.
That's weird that you got them the same.
Yeah, and I like did it several times too.
Wow.
Hey, can you bring it a little closer to the screen just so I make sure I put it in right?
Yes.
Okay, I think I did.
Goodness.
Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Okay, it came up with it's f of negative 1 x equals x, and that's the inverse.
You got f of negative.
F,
F to negative 1, right?
yeah, f of -1 with x in parentheses
Yes.
equals x. So
Oh, because
if that's
so it
what you
does
got,
cancel
then
out.
you're right.
It does cancel out.
It does. It should. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's what I was confused at. I didn't know if that's what it did or not. I was very, because I've never seen anything like that, so I was very confused. Okay, so I did, it looks like I wrote it down wrong here, but okay, that makes me happier that I was kind of on the right track. Okay, thank you.
Hey guys, I can give you guys a password to Mathway. I signed up for it, so I'm like paying for it. I'll give you my password, and you guys could just use it if you guys want.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd like that.
I wish you would have told me that like 2 days ago because I ended up paying for it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's okay
Yeah.
though. Like I'll do
Yeah,
it for
I don't really.
$50. Fine.
Yeah, so if you guys want to like write it down, anybody?
I got it.
Okay, it's Wood Goose 79.
Wait,
This is
spell that
the
out?
email. For it.
Say
Say
that
that what?
Say that again. Sorry.
It's okay. Wood Goose 79 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And then the password is capital W Goose 79.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And I don't use it like a ton, but like whenever I'll have a question on something or want to cheat on a test, just joking. I'll just like throw it in there and it works pretty good.
Okay.
And
Cool.
since you pay for it, you can see the steps on it and stuff.
Oh, wow.
That's the part that I really wanted to get because the steps would help me understand it better.
Yeah, and that's why I did it, so I could see the steps, because I didn't even understand how they were getting it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I ended up doing it too.
Yeah, because I mean, I could probably just put the questions in and pass the class, I don't know, pretty easily, but like, I'm a mechanical engineer, I need to understand it.
Same. I don't want to. Okay, so sorry. Can you give me guys? Can you give me a second?
Yeah, I can give you a sec.
Sorry, I was asking a question. So, do you guys want to start by going over the questions or the exam 1 review?
Yeah, like the extended questions or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, I guess we could go over the formulas so we can know the formulas for ourselves and we can study those on it. So, like for the exam 1 review, section 1.3, it says equations and graphs in 2 variables. And it says distance formula, midpoint formula, slope formula, graph lines. So what for distance formula, I think this is it. It's d equals the square root of x, the second x minus x1 squared plus y, second y minus y1 squared.
Yeah, that's good. That is.
And then midpoint formula is m equals here, I'm just going to show you so it's easier to explain. I'm really bad at explaining these things. Is that correct way or is that backwards?
That's the correct way.
Okay, cool. I don't know if I did that right.
Looks right to me.
Yeah, that looks right to me as well. Were you guys the one who was texting about the slope formula, finding the slope?
That was me.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I was trying to figure out what
funny
group it
was
was
I
coming
his
from, and I
text,
was like, I can't.
but
I
then
don't
I get
know.
anyone else
I'm just telling you what I know.
And so I like responded like no one else responding, and then later I get like everyone else's text. I'm like, oh, they already answered the question before I did.
Yeah. Get on our level. Just joking.
Whoops. No, I don't want to.
You'd have to go down a couple levels.
Okay. Will you show that the formulas again
Yes.
so I can write it down actually this time? Okay.
No, I don't need them. I'm just going to turn my test.
Are we allowed to use our notes on the test?
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask too.
No, only our calculator.
Okay.
You can
Only
put
a
it in your calculator if it's nice enough.
Oh. I don't know if I like that. Okay.
You good? Or
Just about.
Golden.
Y equals mx plus b. And then what's the equation of the one? Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah, I'm good now.
then I guess problems to try for number 1. It says find the slope, distance, and midpoint between -4, 9, and 5, 6.
The slope distances. Okay. I feel pretty confident with slope because that's like algebra stuff.
Right.
Yeah. And like the radius of circles and stuff, I feel pretty good about that too.
Can
I
we do
had a
a
hard
rec-
time with number 2 because I couldn't like put it into the little equation or whatever for the circles.
So
Yeah, can we do number 2 together? Because I'm not really good at circles.
yeah, I know. And I was doing a cylinder just last night. So I have like the volume all in my head right now. So let me look up the circle thing.
Hey, do you guys know when this test is?
Saturday.
This week, yeah, Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay.
Opens the 25th.
Okay. And are we just doing it on what's the site we usually use?
The
MATLAB.
Looks from what I've seen, it looks like it's just on Island.
Okay. Okay.
You have to read like the instructions on week 3 to open it up.
Okay.
And then it will open up. I just did that to make sure that I was doing. Okay. So let's see. Oh my gosh, it's just telling me about pi. I know about pi.
I like pi.
Come give these some attention. That's okay.
So the equation for the circle will be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared.
Right. But I couldn't find the perfect square for like the 6x or whatever and the like 8y.
Okay.
So it's like a perfect square to like factor it.
That was a pretty good square. Hey, can you see how fast I can draw a square? Yeah. That's pretty fast, huh?
No.
Can you do it faster then? Sorry. Sometimes.
circle. Graph the circle. Your equation is x squared plus 6x plus y squared plus 8y equals 0. Where the area is at. Turn that around. What else study later?
8x squared plus bx plus c. Our a value is 1, 2, is 6, 0.
Here's like
That's what I got for it. You can see that.
Barely. Is it -3? Is that what it says in -4?
-3, -4, yeah.
Okay, that's what I got too.
Can I get the formula again? Sorry, I didn't quite catch the formula.
You're fine.
Yeah, it's x minus h squared.
X minus h squared?
Yeah, like in parentheses, x minus h squared
Okay.
plus y
Plus
minus
y
k
A.
equals r squared.
y minus k what?
Y minus k squared equals r squared.
So it looks like that's a y. Okay, it looks like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, so is it x? Oh, x2 minus x1? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's x minus.
Here, go
Oh.
up a little bit then. No, I think you're on the right thing, but you just had it too low. I was looking at a different problem then.
Oh, sorry.
Wait, so how'd you get the 3 and the 4? Or number 2?
Um,
So k is -4.
Hey, is
you
there?
have to do completing the square on each one. So
Right.
like x plus 3x or x squared plus 6x. To complete the square, you take half of 6 and square that. So half of 6 is 3 squared. That'll be
Right.
9. And then same thing for 8. Take half of 8, square it, that'll be 16. And add 16 and 9 on the equal 0 side. And then you solve the rest of it. You factor both
Okay.
of them and then go from there.
Hey, can you show me that equation again? I didn't get it all.
Yes.
Kira. Is that times minus y? Is it?
It's just y
That's a
Where's that?
plus.
Isn't that plus?
Is
Yeah.
it plus? No, it's
It's supposed
minus.
to be plus.
Oh, plus.
No, but
My bad.
it's
I
x
didn't
minus
forget to put the
h
plus in there.
squared
I'm sorry.
plus.
Okay, there you
Okay, yeah, sorry. And it equals what?
It equals r squared.
Okay, I'm good now.
Awesome. So the radius for that problem is 5.
Yes.
So let's put your body facing. Send it to Caitlin.
All right. Do you guys feel comfortable with linear equations?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like linear equations are pretty much my favorite things to do because they're very simple. Do you guys want to try to find the equation that is parallel to another equation that is perpendicular to the line of x minus 2y equals -8?
Sure.
Go through the points 6 and 1. Okay.
This one's
So we're trying to find the equation that's parallel to this.
Perpendicular.
It's number 3 on the review.
Okay.
Oh, I guess you're two. So one that's parallel and then another that's perpendicular.
Yeah.
Okay.
we should hang. So we got to work.
Okay. Six and
This is what I got.
Yeah, that looks right.
oh, good. That's what I got too.
Cool.
Me too.
Mhm.
Cool. Now, this next one is like find the equation of the line through the points 2, 2, 2, 3, and oh wait, never mind. Sorry. Find the points through 2 and 2/3 and -1/2 and -2. To find an equation for 2 points, I forgot how you do that exactly.
You have
You
to
have to
first
find
find
the
the
slope.
slope.
Yeah.
So that'd be like y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Yep.
That's the
Yes,
figure
and then
of
you have
slope.
to put it in slope-intercept form, which is mx or y equals mxb.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm,
Did we want to go over that one together or?
yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, so we have 2 minus 2/3 right here.
Whoops, that is not what I wanted to do. Okay, and that equation is y equals 16 over 15x minus 22 over 15.
For my slope, I was doing something weird. So I got like that in my slope. Is that right?
Yeah. I just simplified it further to get 16/15.
Yeah, I got 16 15.
Me too.
Okay.
function. You know, guys, I don't think I like functions very much.
I don't think I like them either.
At least not calculus ones, or the inverse ones for sure. I hate those.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're making the first freaking thing in the world. Difficult, like.
Point is.
It's the last ones that'll work on the inverse functions.
Say that again.
Oh yeah, the inverse functions.
Yeah, at the very end. It sounds like you guys.
Yeah, the inverse function.
I hate inverse functions.
I think
I
we
don't
should do that.
Like really fast.
So for inverse functions, it says to be able to identify functions that are one-to-one functions, to be able to find the inverse function both graphically and algebraically. Say that. Identify the domain and range of both the functions in the inverse function. Problems to try. Determine whether each function is invertible. If the function is invertible, then find the inverse function and state the domain and range of the inverse function. So first one, fx equals 3x minus 21.
And we're finding the inverse of it, correct?
Yeah, we have to.
If it is possible.
What
Okay.
number are we on?
We skipped to 2.5, section
At the
2.5.
bottom. So,
I was super lost. Sorry.
no, you're fine.
How are we supposed to determine? I forgot, or I don't really know, but how are you supposed to determine whether each function is invertible?
One-to-one is.
You have to find out if it's one-to-one or not.
You don't remember what's one-to-one again.
One-to-one is
Well,
like,
it's a like
It's like 1, 2. If you want, I can do this for you.
it's a straight line, so I'm assuming it is.
Yeah, just so I can teach them super fast. Okay. Turn me up 13.
like that problem that I was having trouble with at the beginning. That function wasn't one-to-one because there was the same value in the x as there was in the bottom y. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This one does look like it's one-to-one.
Oh, okay. So one-to-one's like it past the vertical line.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Or
horizontal.
is the one-to-one a horizontal?
Horizontal.
Okay.
So y.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the math lab tomorrow and get some help on this stuff.
Oh, surprisingly, this one was not like super tough. This is maybe like one of the easiest ones I feel like I've done. And then the domain. I actually feel like I get the domain and range really easily because I feel like those are like the easiest part.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you guys get for A?
I'm having trouble finding the domain.
Is the domain, isn't that just negative infinity to infinity? For the inverse, for the first one, I got f negative 1x equals to 7 plus x over 3.
Yeah, that's what I got for the inverse.
Say that again. What did you get for the inverse?
Fx, but it's f negative 1x equals 7 plus x over 3.
Okay, that's what I got too.
So I can find the range, but I'm having a hard time finding. Because the range is a vertical line.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a domain.
Wouldn't domain just be negative infinity to infinity?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So the line's like in an angle. What I got with the line was like an angle. And so the range is negative infinity to infinity. But then also the domain would be negative infinity to infinity. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I got the range as negative infinity, comma 3, union 3, comma infinity.
What?
Because the x
So-
only stops on negative 3.
Well, X could be anything. Anything. It could even be 0, and you'd still get a negative 21. So I think it's still all real numbers.
Yeah.
So yeah, on domain and range, I got negative infinity to infinity on both.
Huh.
Because it's just a straight line. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a straight line. But isn't it a straight line that falls on negative? I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Hold on. Seven plus x over 3. Okay, I'm not like crazy, right? Like this is the line, right? For the inverse.
This is the inverse. So essentially, you can bring this down. So it's like this slope. 3x. So like the inverse of that would be.
Here, I'm going to use that Mathaway program and
How'd you get the 3?
real quick. And we're doing the first one, right? The fx equals 3x minus 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Does this look right? Did everybody get that?
X equals 3x minus 21. Right? So like.
So here's what I see. So
No, I didn't
we
get
have-
that.
f of x equals 3x minus 21. And then to find the graphing it, it's going to look like this in a graph.
Okay, so the inverse looks something like this.
Right, and then we're finding the inverse. Are we finding the inverse domain and range? Or are we finding the domain and range of the original function?
Oh yeah, and state the domain range of the inverse function. Okay, okay.
Okay, that's what I was doing.
I'm not very good.
And that's why I was getting
No.
But the inverse still has a slope of 1/3,
Yeah.
so it's still not going to be. It's still going to be the same.
Yeah.
Hmm. These graphically, like you have a graphic calculator. I feel like my brain's very like graphic based when it comes to that. Yeah. And so that's why these like understand what's going on. That's there's probably well in the top class. I think it's because I was very good at picturing things like as they are.
That's what I got.
Let's find a domain. Oh my.
And then I could find the range, but I couldn't find the domain. See, that's what I got for the range.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I think you're right. Because it's the inverse function that we're supposed to be finding this of, and that's the only thing, like you said, you only have the range, which is negative infinity to 3, and then
Union. 3 to
union 3 to infinity. But the domain doesn't come up with anything.
Because there's no slope. There's no domain.
Yeah.
There's no domain.
It's just straight up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then the domain should be the line where it's at, just that number.
That doesn't.
Yeah, because it doesn't go infinity on the x or horizontally.
Yeah, she's right actually.
Yeah, it should just be that number then.
If you like draw this out, it's like a little. It's like this. That's a quarter of a circle. Yeah. Like, I can't have an inverse.
How'd you know it was a quarter of a circle? Oh, because yeah,
Which is like negative 1/3 ish, or just negative
-3.
negative 3 ish almost.
I don't see how you're getting a vertical line. Because the slope's
Because
1/3.
that's the range of the inverse function.
No, but like your graph. Because the
Yeah.
slope is 1/3. It shouldn't be straight up and down.
But there's no slope. There's no slope with the inverse function.
There should be because it's still a
Just,
function.
x is just 3.
Well, if it's an inverse, the slope should be 1/3. That's the total opposite of the function itself.
So I typed in y equals 7 plus x over 3, and this is the graph I got.
Explain it. But like,
And then like so the inverse for the inverse.
Yeah. Like, that's the graph.
What on here is one. We all got that. But like, so I graph both of them down here. So
Hold on, let me.
graph
Pretty sure there's like an answer sheet somewhere.
because I want this.
There's not one for the review.
So
No, not for the review.
No.
graph it and it looks like that, right?
uh-huh.
And then I graph that one, which it was the inverse of it when we put it in.
So determine whether each function is invertible. If the first one's invertible. If the function is invertible, then find the inverse function.
What function was that you put in? 7 plus x.
Find the
But
inverse
that's not
function.
the inverse function you're graphing.
I can show you how I got to that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because that and this are the same thing.
No, because it should be x
Uh-huh.
So
f1 f minus 1
and so
x equals
that's
x
just the
plus
inverse of it, but you can
That's
over
the
3.
same as saying y equals.
Okay.
So for the original function, it's the same. F of x is the same as saying y. It's
Yeah.
just an easier way to input it.
Well, wouldn't we be getting the same?
It gives you the same line as like
So I ended up getting what you got, Michael, for that one.
Well, I don't understand why it wouldn't be the same then.
I'm confused. So, if you don't mind me asking, so if it's asking for the inverse function, and we want to write it like how it looks on A. So instead of writing it, and we want to change it all the way back to f negative 1x, because if it on the bottom one below it says y equals, that's probably asking for a y equals inverse. The top one's asking for a f negative 1x equals to something. 7 plus what was it, x over 3. So we probably have to write it out like f negative 1x equals 7 plus x over negative 3, or over 3. And that's what we're supposed to get for the inverse, because that's what A's asking for.
Yeah, and I think that inverse in calculus is always supposed to equal f minus x, or 1x.
Yeah.
But
So we'll
the
get a
F
plus or
minus
minus thing.
It's just denoting that it's the inverse. There's nothing special about it.
Well, then I don't understand why we don't get the same answer.
How are you plugging it in? Like,
For the inverse,
yeah.
I am. So first I solve for y, right? So you do switch to y, but then it should switch back over to and then you switch x equals 3y minus 21. And then you write that y equals 7 plus x over 3. But for the inverse, I just don't understand why the inverse and y are the same thing, even though it says that it is, because we're getting different answers. Anyway, but that's that right there is what I did.
Right. That's weird.
But I just put f minus 1 of x equals 7 plus x over 3.
Right.
But only because that's what the book told me to do, even though, you know, I
That's
get that it
weird.
equals
That's
y.
graphing different.
I know, I just don't understand why it's graphing different.
Mm.
I just don't think the Mathways likes the f of negative 1x input. Because I typed in another one that should be like a vertical, like like not horizontal, not vertical, and it came out vertical. So I just don't think it makes
Oh.
sense to it.
Are you guys working on B now?
I'm figuring out if f minus 1 of x can be inputted as y and still get the same thing, and why we're having so much trouble.
Right.
Because I'm confused.
The second one, it can't be, what's it called, invertible, right?
But yeah, that's what I got. It's like a semicircle.
Yeah, I got it. That it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because it's
Function
not.
normally tells you what y is if you know what x is. The inverse of a function will tell you what x had to be to get the value of y.
So because B, on B, because that's not invertible, we don't have to do much with that one because it's not asking, it's
It
not
should come out as
inverse.
the same function.
Hmm?
The inverse function will come out as the same function. That's what invertible means. That's what I was having the trouble with that question on our quiz.
Oh, no, I'm just wondering because B is not invertible, so we don't have to write anything else for it because you can't get the function, inverse function, or domain and range. Well, you could get a domain and range, but it's not of the inverse function. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I need correct and tell me.
Oh my goodness.
So number 3 is a one-to-one function.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it passes the horizontal and vertical line test.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Number 1 really threw me for a loop, guys. I was really confused about that.
So on the I thought we actually had assignments this today. So I started doing these assignments. I was like, heck, I don't understand any of this stuff. I looked and I realized we didn't have assignments for today. Yeah, it was supposed to be for Thursday. I was like, oh.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
But we do, I guess we do have a group quiz next time.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Well, I guess I'll prepare for the group quiz. And that way we could just get it done right away.
Right.
Yeah. We'll do the group quiz by ourselves. Come ready.
Yeah. Just explain it to each other. So do we have a pretty good understanding of things, kind of? Or we're still working on?
I'm good. Like, I
I'm
was
good to
doing it
go.
pretty well.
Was that inverse of the last one, 5x minus 7 over
I thought it
x
was
minus 1? Is that right?
5x plus 7 over x minus 1.
Plus 7. Oops. Okay.
I had a negative for both the ones on the top, so I brought the negative out in front of the fraction. And so I had 5x plus 7 over x minus 7. Like the whole thing negative.
Really?
Not x minus 1 at the bottom.
Yeah, x minus 1 on the bottom.
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, I'm like double guessing everything and like overthinking it now. Okay.
Kind of.
And do you guys want to call that good?
Yeah, I think I'm good with the things. All the extra help I get, I'm going to go to math lab and go get some help from the teachers there. So I can better understand things that I didn't quite get, but I understand most of it.
Mhm.
So I think we're good because that's all it's asked us is just to check with each other if we're good with things. So I think we're good to go.
So are we gonna next week? Are we gonna do Are we gonna try and do the group quiz beforehand? That way it goes faster when we're in it.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
And then
Last
that
time it
was,
was 3 hours.
yeah, that took us 3 hours to do.
Yeah, and it was exhausting. It was
Yeah, I was like, I give up halfway, I'll be honest.
I I think if we do it, then we can just explain it to each other and how we did it, and then we'll be good,
Right.
and it won't take as long.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool. All right, well, I'll talk to you guys later.
Yeah.
See ya.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.